What's going on, my patrons and you regular people as well? So, of course, if you guys saw the unboxing, we saw the Go-Saurer, the HG1300 scale thing from Bandai. And yeah, so Thomas Rice picked this one because he's a weirdo and he wanted to see some cool dinosaur robot mecha stuff happen. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the series, though I have seen the kind of transformation when they actually like the school all start changing and everything like that, and then I have seen that before on the internet, which is actually pretty cool. But anyways, we're gonna look at the box real quick before we get to everything else. You guys should know how this works, right? So on the cover here, we have a great image of Go-Saurer here. And I looked up the name of this thing over here and the series, and after something passion, something I don't know. Either way, but it's a combination of a bunch of dinosaurs. So you've got like the brachio here, you've got the pterosaur thing there, and you got the stego down here, and you got the kids over here looking a lot like Dino Charge. It's kind of funny. You got Bandai 2018, made in Japan, all the other things and such and stuff. And if we come to the bottom, hold on, I gotta adjust her so slightly here. All right, we come to the bottom. You got Saurer Jet, so that's kind of how they combine into one form before going into the thing. You got Land Stego, Mach Terra, and Thunder Brachio. And then, of course, you've got Docking, and he turns into the main form of Go-Saurer, and it says the Saurers can perform the Neketsu Gatai. The hearts of the Saurers become one, and 3 Saurer robots perform the Neketsu Gatai. That's crazy. I just like saying that. Oh, hold on, wait. Okay, we got pilots' names here. Sorry, this is really tiny. All right, so Hiromi Tachibana. You get Kenichi Minizaki, and Shinobu Asoka. Nice. I think it's a girl, actually. Either way, transformation and all things. There's stuff and things. Okay, so you got action and weapons. Saurer blade, Saurer shield, Saurer bunker, Saurer cannons. So you just got all kinds of weapons that are Saurer based. Makes sense. And you come around this side and you've got all the stuff and things there. And you've got, oh yeah, that's right, it is HG Eldor and 1300 Go-Saurer. That's right. Okay, so repeated box art. That's the thing. I believe I got this at Hobby Town question mark, I think. Where did I get this thing? Pretty sure it was Hobby Town. And to come to the final side, you got Yoji Yama up there. You can enjoy all the fun of creation. That's what's great about plastic model kits. That's true. I don't know who you are, but thanks for telling me that. And you got obligatory shots here. You got obligatory front and rear. It comes unpainted. No kidding. And the anime version of the hip parts are also included. That is true. You've got nippers are the best tools. You got no painting is required, although he does have some paint apps that are missing, which is something I discovered after it was essentially done. You have the images here from the anime or some kind of version of the anime. Things look a little bit different here. You can see a lot more smoothed edges and stuff like that, so it's a bit different. You got cautions, you got PSPE, poly bag, little guy with a toilet, and you've got no amount of yen, but I paid $58 for it, thereabouts, like you saw on the side of it. And you got illustration is by Yuta Otani, and writing is by Koji Igarashi. Turkus. Cool. So, new HG kit, still upside down. No matter how many dinos you throw at it, it's still going to end up upside down on a SHOKY review. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get to it. There's a lot to this kit. Alright guys, so here we have all 3 Saurers out here. And so you got Land Stego, Mach Terra, Lightning Brachio, and of course their associated pilots and all that. And they look pretty cool. We're going to go over them a little bit one by one here. Let's start with Land Stego because I think he's the most interesting of them and looks the best out of all of them. Sorry, I had to adjust my focus a little bit. Alright, so he's molded a lot in red. You've got that kind of Gundam-ish gray there. And you got some cool stuff here, like the little yellow eye, and what I assume is the cockpit with the clear blue. They all have some clear blue on them somewhere. And you got the cool Stego spines up here that are in the clear green, same thing there. And I will say that I did do some paint apps along the way, like painting this part in here with some like kind of metallic gunmetal. You can see it's a little thick. The brush I was using was not the right size, so things got applied a little thicker than they should have. And he's actually pretty cool. Like, he's got the tail back here, which does move, and these little, not spikes, but I guess they're technically a gun, so that's kind of cool how you got that. The legs and stuff do move. Technically got some articulation, but for the most part, he is just a brick. They're all pretty much a brick in one way, shape, or form. Though technically, yeah, here, the actual dino head does move. That's cool. And you get some clear bits down here. This thing is technically removable if you actually want to just not have to deal with clearancing for that, so it's up to you. Alright, so we can look at Thunder Brachio next, which is the one that honestly requires the most amount of work to make accurate, and I didn't even go that far because I was essentially done by the time I figured out what was missing. But you can see it is going to basically be the legs of the main mecha, and so he's very, very chunky. He's got a huge, thick body here. He's got these Saurer cannons here hanging out the back. And I did add some more paint apps here. You didn't have to do these bits. I just wanted to. Once again, it's a little chunky. And then, of course, here on the knees. Those weren't necessary, nor was it necessary to do the gray up here on the neck. However, the yellow for these round parts apparently was part of the design. I saw it later. I had to add it after I already did everything else. Now, actually, these parts of the neck, like the whole back side of the neck here, is supposed to be blue. I saw that way too late. I'd already painted all this stuff, and it would have been a whole lot of tricky masking to bother, so I didn't. Apologies. There's no articulation in the neck. It's all just kind of plugged in there, but as you can see, you got the same kind of yellow eye. You got the same blue stuff up there. I guess technically speaking, you can consider those cannons coming out the front, whether they are or not. Oh, I did also paint this area right here. Totally unnecessary, but didn't know what they were when I was painting them. Does have little feetsies that just sort of move, but that basically would mean he's just going to scrape along the ground. Part of me was just like, he should just hover, because frankly, walking is not a real thing it can do. And you kind of have a tail back here, which is realistically the crotch of the main mecha. So there's that. It's a pretty cool one. After adding the yellow, I was actually a little bit more satisfied with him. He looks so boring otherwise, which is why I painted the gray on the neck and stuff. Then, of course, once again, found out. And then, yeah, I had to smooth out that yellow a little bit. I had to thin it. Took a couple coats to actually hand paint all that yellow on. The end result isn't bad. And now we got the biggest and the least impressive, I should say, with Mach Terra here. And without the legs on here, it actually looks pretty cool. But it very much reminds me of, say, like the Thunder Megazord, Firebird, Phoenix, whichever way you want to call it. If you take these legs off. Now, technically, they do articulate because they're going to be the robot arms. You know, spoilers. But you do get the feet that can move, but they mostly just move like that, so it doesn't really do any good. The wings do move, so they are hinged right there. They can rotate, and then if you want to, you can also make them longer a little bit by doing that. The neck does move up and down. He can peck. Actually appreciate like the detail here. It looks pretty cool, if I'm honest. And once again, you get what I assume is the cockpit section. And the eyes and stuff like that. The eyes are stickers on the other two. This part is actually plastic in this case. But he looks so hollow, I just don't dig it. Like, it's just not a good look. Now, once again, I did add some more paint. Added the gunmetal color across there. And then on these vents right here, though, in no point are they really kind of useful. It was just adding paint before I really got started. Oh, and then back here on this section, did the same thing. That, I think, makes it look way better. Now, he does have leftover parts whenever you go into the dinosaur modes, or the Saurer. This is all your leftover bits. So some of this, obviously, you've got the fists, you've got the handle for the shield, you've got the anime side skirts, which, you know, take it or leave it. You have the full-on toes of the thing. And this whole blue part doesn't actually do anything but hold on to the extra bits. And you've got the main head crest that stores right there. So there's no good way to really have any of this on them at any given point. The hands you can't really have because there's no area for them. The shield is busy. So yeah, these are all parts you really just can't use. Even the toes. So I'm guessing in the anime, these kind of come out from underneath there. Like there's not going to be a leftover bit in the anime. Now you do also get his sword. Normally I would show this off in bot mode, but you can actually use this in a way in Saurer mode. You've got these grooves right here that line up to the grooves in Thunder Brachio, or I'm sorry, yeah, Thunder Brachio's mouth. And he can carry it. And apparently he does do that in the anime. So that's actually neat, not gonna lie. We'll just go over the sword real quick. So gold blade, panel lined. Got the red bits here that look like little dino heads. I kind of dig that. You do get a chrome sticker that covers all that under there, and then you put the clear piece on. I actually really appreciate the look of that. And then a painted, just the little bits there. And you get the obvious hollow side and the good side. So it's actually a really neat sword. I dig it. It reminds me of a few different things, like from the 80s and such. So, I guess we should go into the Saurer jet mode, I guess. That's sort of the main thing you want to do, because you just go from one to the other realistically. So we're going to need to transform all these guys up. I'm going to raise the camera because we're going to need some room. So basically we're going to do a lot of parts forming. So yoink the legs off. Those will become arms. Obviously, you want to pull these down. You can leave the wings as they are. You fold the head back like such. So you're kind of just compacting him, which is fine. So it's just going to be like that. For the legs, you kind of want to fold everybody kind of straight. You can actually just unaccordion that. And you sort of want to go for that. Like you just kind of want that coming out the back. You don't want to look perfectly straight. It's just a thing. You'll see why when we get there. So let's extend that, fold that, do that like so. And there's some bit. Yeah, you can just leave these like they are. They'll be fine for the next mode. So just kind of once we transform something, we just move on. The brachio, you just basically yank off the entire neck. Don't need that anymore. Fold these down, fold these up, in, and so you're basically going to end up with this. Now it's time we pull out the toeses. We want some toeses. And you apply them here, and you can just fold that down. Apply that there, and fold it down about as good as it'll go, like that. Okay, so that one's fairly simple. I mean, once again, giant part forming. And one thing they want you to do as you go is you just end up moving parts back over here. So that actually, so no matter what you're doing, you end up just adding parts over to this. Now stego, you want to pull the blades off. You want to pull that off and move it around to this side, and you can see the cutout there and some tabs there, and just cover up the stego head. Point the guns forward. I think you want to have these sort of like this. Actually, no, we want them like this, like so. Fold these leg bits up, straighten them out so that this part is facing forward. And once again, this is of course our steps to essentially get him to bot mode as well. You've got a whole thing there that'll plug that guy in like so. There's no like satisfying click or anything. That's just bunk, you know. I want to straighten that out just a wee bit. Okay, so we want the arms. There's no real definite left or right in this case, so you just plug them on. Like that. And then we take the wings, and you want to plug them on like so, and that's basically it. Let me double check though. Oh, I forgot the wings. The wings flip around. My bad. I knew there was something slightly different about this mode. I just couldn't remember what it was. Okay, so come on. Pull off. There we go. I forgot. In this case, the wings straighten out and flip backwards. That's the way it should be. Like that. So now, yeah, they're more jet-like. So, sorry. That was my bad. That was my bee. Oh, and the legs, actually. Not the legs. The things that are not legs actually want to be that way. So, there we go. I had to correct myself as I went. It's fine. It's what happens. But there we go. That's basically your Soarer jet mode. And it looks pretty cool. They even give you a little cockpit down here and what was once the stego tail. You got a little gun there. Looks pretty clean. I digs it. And you can obviously tell how we're going to get to the main mode here in a minute. So let's go ahead and do it. So let's yank the legs back off, flip that around, back the way I had it screwed up, but it was whatever. Straighten out the feet. Oh, it didn't actually occur to me that the heels moved. Wow, I suck sometimes. I didn't realize those were on hinges. So kind of get him standing more or less flat. Okay, good. We can see everything. And you want to fold up that part of the shoulder. You want to bring this down. Now this is going to be the back part of the arm. In this way you can actually rotate it. Whenever you're going to Terra mode, you have to make sure that the arms are facing kind of the right direction. They get a little wonky. Okay, you want to pull this off entirely because we don't want that. You want to pull off Mach Terra because we have to fix that one. But then you also have to pull off this whole back piece, which I wish was on a hinge, but is not. Like, it really does get hard. Now the front does hinge. You just sort of do that number, and then you rotate the head around, revealing the robot head. Close that back up. We'll now fix the Mach Terra wings. So back the way I had it a second ago. So you want the claws facing up and these circle parts facing forward, and then these obviously in their lower position. And then you want to stick this back on here. Grooves in together, very nice. It does actually hold pretty solid. As you saw, I kind of had to struggle to pull that off. Go ahead and slap that back on. And he's nearly complete. Now you kind of have a semi-useless mode here. If I zoom in, you see the head crest there. So that's where we come back to this one. So that's the folded up mode, so to speak. The hard part is kind of getting it off. Some days it doesn't want to. Okay, so that one's not bad. This is the one that gets a little wonky. So you want to just stick that in there. It's a much tighter fit, if I'm honest. Okay, now we need the hands, which are over here. So just pull those out. Put them on. Go ahead and fold his chest upward, like so. And essentially, he's done. So there is Go-Saurer as he is. And it looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and put all of the side bits back together. So I do need, pull this off. You do have a nice fitment here. Since we're going to need this for the shield, pull that off. And with putting this one away, you have this little slot right here and those little tabs sticking out. You just kind of line that back up like so. And since we're going to sort of demonstrate these guys here in a second, I'm going to go ahead and pull them off. Because that's a choice you get to make. And then here's you a not complete dino anymore. And to finish off weapons, go ahead and grab the stego bits. Go ahead and fold it flat like so. Take your handle and plug it on with the handle facing down like that. So there's your stego shield, which looks awesome. Actually, I dig the fact that I added those stripes, honestly. I think it looks good. And then once again, of course, we have the sword. Oh, and you don't have to do this right now, but because they are like weapons that he uses, you can pull out the cannons, though they don't really do much. They're sort of stuck forward like that, like little shin guns, basically, is all they equate to. Alright, so if you want to put the weapons in his hands, it's not the easiest thing in the world. While they are like HG styled hands, you kind of have to do some disassembly to really make use of them. So you gotta pull the thumb off of that one and the fingers and line it all up. Oops, sorry. I always forget you're supposed to do this separately. Which, by the way, that pegs in really well. Like, there's a lot of kits where things just don't hold together like they should. This one doesn't fail in that department. Okay, so you want the hand to basically be like this. Plug that part on, and then bring the thumb in like so. I was looking at it upside down, by the way. Plug that back together, and then plug the shield in. And there you go. You can hold the shield. And to do the sword, very similar process, except you can skip some of it because the handle is a little bit easier to maneuver. So you just kind of snug it in there. So you can't effectively drop the weapons, which is fine. And also the grooves in the handle of the sword make it easy to hold. I dig it. So there he is, all armed up and ready for action. And one last little thing for storage sake. This little area right under here is where you put this guy. And it is super loose, so that might get lost at some point. These little pegs here, not entirely certain what they do, what goes there, because frankly you've already pulled off most of the stuff, so I'm not entirely certain where that should go. Maybe the stego shield goes there when you're not using it. Let's just take a quick look at that. That looks like it's roughly the same distance apart, so it could very well be that, or it could have nothing to do with it. Let's see. Oh no, that's 100% what it's for. Just gotta line it up. Oh, maybe not. It's like almost perfect. Like they don't quite tell you everything. Oh no, that was it. Okay, so the stego shield totally stores there if you're not using it. And once again, you can put this back down here. Now it'd be cool if this was like some kind of remnant base mode or something. Like if somebody wasn't in action, they could totally use this off screen for something. But as previously discussed, I don't believe it serves a purpose in the anime. Who knows? And maybe the sword stores on there somehow as well. Who knows? But it's kind of a cool little like hover base thing. Anyways, back to the actual guy. So just here, and move the sword kind of out of the way. I'll zoom in on the head. Let me do the thing, and he's pretty cool. I like the multi-layering thing, so the eyes and all that are separate bits. The red part is separate. The white parts are all separate. He does move on a ball joint. Therefore, the head. I don't think he has any neck action. Nope, no neck action. So it just rotates. Shoulders and articulation are all pretty limited by the stuff that's around. So that part does rotate, and as you know, this part rotates as well. But you can get his regular arms out to there. You got bicep rotation, which is hindered when this is down. You do get... I thought it was a double jointed elbow, but I think it's just a single. It's technically a double, but it's only when it's transforming. Oh, by the way, I forgot about the other weapons. So I guess if you want the bunkers, I don't know how that works. But those fold out. Those are supposed to be Saurer bunkers. I don't know. Maybe they pull off or something. I don't. That part I'm not sure about. In fact, I don't care that much. So the wrist is just a ball joint like you do. The body doesn't really do much, which is strange because the way it's built, you'd think it would have any articulation in the main body, but not so much. Not even at the waist. Nope. So he's kind of stagnant. Like he's got less movement than a Megazord, kind of, in some aspects. The legs do hinge, and they do go in and out. Some thigh rotation there. It looks like it should rotate here, but that's all kind of one piece from what I can recall. Or maybe it does rotate and I'm blind. Oh, it does. Okay. It was just stuck. So it's rotating at the hip and it's rotating at the thigh. And I nearly worked that off. The knees function, but don't function at the same time. What's going on here? Hold on. I know you got knees. Are these? Oh my god. Okay, so thing I didn't realize, his legs extend. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, why are his legs so stubby and non-functional? Okay, so the legs do move. How does it lock? Seems like there should be a lock for that. Instructions. See, that comes up. Something should lock that. Hold on. Okay, so I was right in assuming it had something to do with the blasters, but you gotta fold these forward because they're in the way. Shows how much I was paying attention. Those tab back, then you close that. Okay, that makes way more sense. Seriously, like when I put them together, I'm like, what is wrong with this? Why does he have such dumb, stupid legs? And I was like, even when assembling, I'm like, okay, I know he's got more parts in here. What's up with this? It's for the ankles and stuff. I don't know what is happening there. But either way, so he does have legs. I'm just an idiot, as you guys should know. He does have... It's like I knew I put together knee joints when I did it. Honestly, guys, I've been building this like as I was like pretty tired throughout the day. I really wish that these ankles functioned differently. Like it's just one big ball joint, and he's got these gigantic toes. And once again, I didn't realize that the heels moved, so he can get a decent pose. He's got some rocker in the ankles, but he's very back heavy, so you've got to balance him out. But now he looks better. I was wondering why he looks so dumpy. God, I'm dumb. I really am. Now, if you want to go for the anime look, such as using these bits, you want to go ahead and pull these off. It's just a polycap joint, like we're all kind of used to at this point. You want to use the associated one that's further back, like that. So, and this may or may not be the thing I stick with. I don't know, because it might look good, it might not look good. I'm leaning towards not. And the other thing you can do is you pull these little legs off. At least that's what I saw for putting it in anime mode. Just a quick excerpt here. If you're going into anime mode and you still need to store the excess parts, of course you can put the legs on there, and I discovered that those pegs work the same for even these little add-on bits. So realistically, I'm going to put the shield back on him from here on out. But I wanted to add that in there. You can still store all the stuff on here, which is honestly very handy that they did that. So that's probably one of the best features, considering you don't use everything. And it's a shame that the brachio neck is not involved, because there's like a lot of cool molding there. But anyways, back to it. Seriously though, these ankles. Like, maybe I just need to lean those back and then lean his knees forward. Maybe that helps. Kinda did, if I'm honest. Alright, so I don't know what to think, guys. It looks okay in anime mode. Yes, I have the instructions out here. When I get them on camera, it's fine. It's fine. Let me double check here. Yeah, so pull those things off, put those things on, and recreating anime version. Which is fine. Doesn't look terrible. I think I prefer the other legs. I don't mind the, I'm sorry, skirts. I think I like the other Stego skirts a little bit better. But these parts being gone actually doesn't look bad. Sorry, I've got other things falling over off screen. Which I guess is a good lead-in for comparisons here. So let's compare him to Master Grade Gundam. So you can see he's about 3/4 the size of a Master Grade, so that's not bad. And comparatively to another Bandai model thing. So you've got him there with a Figure Eye Standard. So he's about the size of a normal Figure Eye Standard. So yeah, I mean, now that I've realized that the knees and stuff function and the legs are longer, I like him a little bit better. It does. Dang it, he just keeps falling over, don't he? It's like, age 1 is having Exia problems. If any of you guys know what I'm talking about, comments down below. You should know what I'm talking about. Stay. You need to go back in his detail. He's becoming a problem. But either way, guys, that's going to be it for this review. Let me know what you think down below. If you've built it, have you had any other issues? Are you as dumb as me? Let me know. I'm probably going to actually keep him with the shield on, though. This is pretty cool. And there is a whole other add-on, a whole separate mecha that I saw. He's like a big T-Rex version that can both add on to this one, plus he's his own mecha and stuff like that. He looks pretty cool. I might pick him up in the future. Depends on what I feel like doing with this. I actually dig it. Even the gold plastic isn't terrible. But if you need to, by all means, paint this guy the way you're supposed to. I added different details that I thought should be there before knowing that his colors were wrong. Especially on Brachio here, who would look so much better with the blue on the neck. So that's just going to be a thing. And it should be something like this blue, which is not the easiest thing in the world to replicate. But, of course, thanks, Thomas, for picking this one. If you guys want to have the ability to occasionally pick out kits that I build, by all means, go sign up for the Patreon. Become a Patroneer. And the next one we're going to be doing was picked out by Megan, I believe. So we'll be looking at that next time. Of course, if you want to help support the channel in other ways, you can technically check out the SHOKY shirts. You can check out the SHOKY stores. All the links about all the stuff is in the description down below. I will catch you guys on the next review. And remember, as always, keep on soaring.